Welcome you all once again, and in this video I will try my best to explain the best way, the most suited way, the fruitful way to teach English as a subject in Hindi schools. Our way of teaching is different in these two type of schools. In English school, books, explanation, interaction, everything is in English, and it really helps them because the sole aim is to learn this language in written and spoken form. But in Hindi medium schools, mostly in government schools, out of all periods, only one period is devoted to English. And it is seen that only due to one period, students do not pick up this language quite well. They get somehow acquainted. Only the most intelligent student learn to write correctly, and they have difficulty in spoken form. But students are not at fault. Students are of best breed. It would be unfair to say that they are from rural background, parents are not conscious, the students are low-witted or not so intelligent. It would be unfair to say this because in Hindi schools, the sole responsibility to help them learn better English depends on teacher. And as we know that since the ages, the way of teaching English is different in Hindi schools. Mostly the teacher explain the text in Hindi, although questions are completed written in English. But since no explanation and interaction is done in English, that is why they become master in the written form, and they feel hesitation, difficulty while speaking. So what should be the method, best way to teach English in Hindi schools? Now, if I sum up in one line only, then you yourself will guess that I am going to say that teachers should communicate, speak, and explain in Hindi only, in English only. I think all the teachers would never like to do that because some of the teachers are from Hindi medium school. So the best way is explain the text as far as you can. And those who are quite capable, they can explain the text in English. Students will read out few lines, paragraph. After that, you will simplify the language. You will explain it your own language to make them understand or follow the lesson, the content of study. And you will do it in English. Now here, some people raise the question that those children will not be able to follow the explanation, they will not follow the language. So it is lame excuse, because in that case you should give them the summary in advance in their mother tongue. At the same time, if you want to put extra effort just for the sake of benefit to the students, you just explain it in English first, and then in very brief manner tell the Hindi sum and substance too. It will help them to have clear-cut idea about the plot, the central idea of poem, or to follow that lesson somehow. So in a sense, I want to say that there should be 60-40 ratio or 70-30 ratio. 70% explanation you do it in English, if possible do it 100%, and at the same time in brief manner you explain the paragraphs, 3 or 4 paragraphs at a time, or otherwise give summary in detail while you start the story or any chapter. And even if you do so, keep on doing so for 2 years. Just suppose students are with you for in 9 and 10. Even in that case, you will never they will never be able to speak properly. So you just hold question answer session in classroom. You just frame the question, just ask them to deliver the answer, and if they fail to do so, then you just tell the answer, you just explain. Students will listen your explanation, your answers, and it will go in their subconscious mind. The language will go in their subconscious mind. So it should be the ideal way of teaching the prose pieces. And some people give stress, and as it is suggested in the B.Ed course, that when you teach a lesson, prose piece in English, and even in other subjects, you should communicate and test their prerequisite knowledge, the facts and figures related to the text. You should also tell the background of the lesson. That should be done in brief manner, so that you may have enough time to explain the text, because this is not the college where you will finish half of your syllabus and you will not be questions, because teachers are always liable for explanation. Why didn't you complete your syllabus? So in a brief manner, apart from the content of lesson, you should also interact about the background and anything related to that particular lesson, because the more you speak, the more students are going to listen and it will benefit them. And when it comes to vocabulary, the traditional way of writing in class 9 and 10, and even in the lower section, in lower section you write on the blackboard the 20 odd words out of one lesson, hard word. But in 9 and 10, the level of literature is very high. So you ask them to hold a pencil, and whenever you see that this is worth learning, a word of daily use, most oftenly used, frequently used, then you say them the meaning of the word. And you just let them write the meaning in mother tongue, no harm. In English schools, meaning also is in simple language. Teachers write the word meaning in simple language, not in Hindi. You do it in Hindi, no harm. It will not hinder their progress, and they will better understand the word meaning. Now, when we teach the poem, we must give them the sum and substance, the central idea, the literal explanation, the idea underlying a poem. So it depends on what sort of poem you have got. And some teachers who are highly talented, highly educated, they just start teaching the text in the way the college teachers are supposed to do or to complete. They just talk about the background, the poetic style. So that should not be done in detail at school level. But because at school level, our whole and soul intention is to enhance their language skill, to make them familiar with the words, phrases, sentences, and they should have complete knowledge of knowledge of that particular language. Once you are in college, then poetic style for 60 minutes, then say let us start text tomorrow. It will do no harm to them. Rather, they will have the specialized knowledge about any particular poem like Wordsworth, Shelley, or Yeats. So in school level, you do these things in brief manner. Up to 10 or 15 minutes, you just give the details related to the text and talk and interact with students also. And once you finish the prose and poetry piece, then while you go for the creative, and at the end of the lesson topic, you must frame questions, as I said, even in poems, and make them answer in classroom. This will be the first ever chance to interact in English for the students, and at that time you assure the students that you are free to speak with errors, no harm. Nobody will assess you or judge you. The main intention is that you should start speaking some sentences. Now, if you create such type of environment in the classroom, you take the initiative, some intelligent students will do, then there will be the feeling with rest of the students, they should also speak few lines, and in that way a certain momentum will be set in the classroom activity, and it will be the part of classroom activity in next classes. After some time it will be the routine activity, and you keep on doing that in the classroom for 2 years. Later on you will discover that students are not dumb altogether. They started speaking English, but we will have to accept the fact that even if you do so for 2 years in class 9 and 10, 8, 9 and 10, then you will discover that their English is not immaculate, not error free. They just do not continue for long, but at least you succeeded in accomplishing your means fixed goal. At least you could be a source of help for students, because they are not keeping mum. Now they can utter 4 or 5 sentences, so they will get the platform. Generally people discuss that these things should be done in the school extracurricular activity like cultural programs, speech, debate programs, in dance and drama. But I think that interaction, especially in English, should be done in classroom. Now here the major issue is, from teacher's point of view, how can we do that? Students do not speak English, they are not capable of speaking one line. Okay, if they do not speak one line, make them complete half of the line. You start from one word, you can do that. I have done this personally in different schools, not in convent schools, and I succeeded to a great extent. It was just a revolution. How can I ever forget that once the annual prize ceremony was going on, and while my name was called from the student from the stage, and he just said a line for me, that here comes the man who has totally changed our way of studying English. It was a great compliment, because I really worked hard. I tried my best that I should make them say something in the classroom. It should be the part of regular activity. It should be the habit. Later on, it will become part of nature. Now, here some critics will say that they will neither learn completely, and their English will not be perfect, and they will be figure of fun. At some stage, it is bound to happen. All of a sudden, within 2 years, merely by studying English for one period, they will never be champion, but it will be the foundation for future. They will excel for better. They will study ISC, they will complete plus 2 in arts, and later on, if they work hard, they will discover that whatever activity we had started in classroom, it is very fruitful, and we can reach up to 20 lines from 2 or 3 lines. It is bound to happen. You just experiment it, because I have done it personally, not in the well-established, esteemed school. At this moment, in the present date, I am rendering my services in an Adivasi residential school where medium of instruction is Hindi, and I oftenly do that. I make them say something in classroom. Okay, while you teach, complete the creative writing session, like formal letter, report writing, paragraph, factual description, not grammar. So when you complete the composition section. Then you enhance their writing capability, and never assign them the homework. You have complete it and just submit your copy. At home they will note down from the help books, from internet. Just tell them to complete a paragraph or a report writing sitting in the classroom in presence of yours. You just supervise them. Don't call them one by one to your desk or table. Just move around the class. See what number of lines they have written. If you find somebody completing one page or half of the page, you just hold the copy. Just encourage them, motivate them. Don't go for word by word checking, but at least you see what the other students are doing. If they haven't written anything, you just encourage them. You just encourage them that at least tomorrow you will start, or on a simple topic you will be able to write something. So motivate them. While you explain the grammar, it is quite essential that explanations should be done in Hindi. If you explain the topics of grammar in English, then children will never be able to learn rules and regulation, because most of the student in government school and Hindi school do not understand total explanation in English. So in grammar they will be confused. So my suggestion is that when you complete grammar section, you explain it in semi English. The rules regulations should be explained in Hindi. So this is the whole and soul way of teaching. And if I say it in 3 or 4 lines, then my suggestion is, once you complete the lesson, you should not complete it by explaining in Hindi only, 70-30 ratio. You do the hard work. In that case, you will say, why should I work? Why should I put extra effort? If I explain only in Hindi, I will not get that much exhausted. And if I speak in English, at the same time I will explain the summary in Hindi, then simplified language, then again in Hindi, there will be extra amount of pressure. Within a stipulated time I won't be able to do so. These things are lame excuses. These things are the kind when somebody escapes to face the reality. You will have to work hard. As an English teacher, you will have to be more responsible. Never compare your fate, your hard work with other subject teachers. There are some subjects where teacher make merry. It's very easy. Some easy subjects are there, student work and complete themselves. No proper instruction and hard work is necessary for intelligent student. There are some subjects very easy for student. Very less number of students fail in that subject. So that doesn't mean we should sit idle in the classroom. We have to do our best. We have to discharge duties very sincerely in every subject. But in English, you have to pay little more attention. You have to exhaust more. And then only you will realize that whatever work was assigned by the government, by the institution, organization, I could live up to the expectation. I could complete my work sincerely. Such should be the feeling, philosophy of a teacher. And it is not taught in the B.Ed course, my dear. B.Ed is no guarantee that you are very sincere, and non-B.Ed will be concentrated to their own self, never thinking, caring for the students. So B.Ed is not guarantee that you will be very sincere and accountable to the students' progress. So if you have to justify your worth, if you really want to identify that I am an English teacher who is a respectable fellow in the society simply because I am benefiting students due to my own effort. I am a man of worth. I do not complete my lesson in the traditional way, just complete 30 days in the register and then expect the salary. You are doing something. You are doing your duties in your own particular style, individual style, and it is benefiting to great extent. You will have a job satisfaction. You will have a sense of contentment. And whatever I say, it is my own experience. And I have got the desired result. I was praised. Everybody used to speak highly of me, that I have changed totally this particular school or any other school when it comes to interact in English and when it comes to promote spoken English. So I think that same thing should be done by the English teachers in government school. And I think that in the present date, all the teachers coming or getting selected as an English teacher in government school, they are very talented, because this is computerized exam. No malpractice is going on. No favor is being done to anybody. No bribery is going on for the appointment of teacher, as it was done in 40 years back. So they get selected by their own merit, intellect. The only thing needed is you just justify your selection. And in the end, I would like to say that whenever you have the free period, like you are not teaching any subject, you are substituting somebody, the teacher is absent, and you are sent in place of that teacher, just communicate with the student. Just hold a discussion on a very simple topic, like any topic of cricket. You will see that most of the students will pay great attention to the cricket and the topic and related discussions, like mobile, its uses, disadvantages, advantages, disadvantages, morning walk. There are some topics which are very easy for the students to talk and discuss. And never look down upon any student for speaking, for drafting, weaving out meaningless sentences. Let them do that. You just rectify it. Never say what the nonsense you speak. Let them speak. Let them utter words, not in proper sequence. That will be the beginning, and the result is bound to happen. So I think that whatever I said, it is my own experience. I have done it. I am not preaching lessons sitting here and just to create an impression that a great teacher has really taught English over the years. I just want the other teachers to do the same thing, and the result will be amazing, unexpected. And I have done it in my own coaching too. I completed one whole session of spoken English, and I got the kind of appreciation, praise, accolade, applause that was beyond my expectation. The respect I got from the students, it all reflected in their eyes. The words are not needed. It is the way student pays their reverence, their respect, that says it all, that you have done a noble job. Thank you in the video. I hope that if you listen, you will implement all these things. And one line, if I say that, just go for interactive session, very low level. Students will not speak the quality sentences. A very low level, the starting level, the basic level. Just do that and encourage them that one day you will speak properly. So interactive session, not on the national topics of national importance, related to textual question and answer, that is interaction. And students should never sit in passive. The classroom should be active. The teacher, student, both active. Then only the proper way of teaching will start in non-English school. Thank you.